Boys, I almost boycotted coming this week because this is the review episode, and at some point we are gonna have to look at the league table, and I'm not looking forward to that. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. Up top of me, that's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Boys, hello. Good day. How are we doing?
Hello. Safe.
Safe. You're feeling safe.
Just feeling safe, huh?
Yes.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
That's such an absurd. Okay. Brad,
Match week 34, and we are safe.
I'm happy for you, Brad. That's good. This podcast would have gotten a little interesting if you were giving us championship updates every week. I don't know. We might have had to just kick you off and replace you for a year. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
I don't know. But good thing we didn't have to find out yet.
Yes, maybe there's always next year. But that is can we just pause for a moment and appreciate the absurdity of Chelsea taking until match week 34 to secure their safety for Premier League football for the next year?
Be mathematically safe. Yes.
I just did reverse math on the way back through the table. We achieved 42 points on February 19th, and we have had a really bad season.
We had 42 points before the halfway part mark.
Yeah.
Like we.
So, what I was just going off of what his safe is. I just ran the points back from.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave you an extra point because I did it from 56. Sorry, because I misremembered. But we have 57. I can see if we drew before that.
I'm sure 40 points is probably actually the safe number for Chelsea, but hilarious.
We would have been at 43 with a win at on the February 19th.
Oh man, Chelsea are the gift that have given a lot this year.
And this is a really bad season for Tottenham.
I think that because Chelsea have been so just like disaster class bad, like so astronomically bad, that this season doesn't get held to the same standard that that Tottenham season will, that Manchester United season will, that Liverpool season will. I think most people will universally accept Arsenal had a very, very good season, regardless of if they finish first or second. But I think that like Tottenham had a disaster class season, and this season will be perceived as a worse season for Tottenham than it will be for Chelsea, just because Chelsea is just like they were so bad that everyone just forgets about them this year.
Yeah. Are you guys watching Ted Lasso?
No.
I'm missing a couple of episodes.
Okay, so spoiler for people. Nathan Shelley, the assistant, goes to West Ham in this second season, and
Third season.
It is the third season. I'm sorry, there were two out previously. So what I explained to Brittany is what's extra layer of funny to an EPL fan is that because like the layer of him going to West Ham among the London clubs of like, even though Richmond in this sense they're not football good like Chelsea and Tottenham and Arsenal are, they are like the fake, like they think they're one of us. They think they're like here when they're really like here. But like they're really in a mid-tier by themselves because it's really those three and then West Ham by themselves. And then it's like Palace, Fulham, Brentford. Normally, not looking at league table this year. I'm just talking about like how good they traditionally are in the past 20 years.
Size of the club, things like that.
Yeah, not just size of the club, because
but prestige.
I'm sure a lot of clubs,
I think you're talking about prestige.
But not just like carrying a lot of weight. Like Fulham carry a decent amount of weight, but like they overperformed this year, and good for them. But they're still not on the fan level, the prestige level, the stadium level of a West Ham or even a Palace, really. But anyways, so I was explaining that, and I was like, it's an extra layer of funny that Richmond are worse, but they are like more successful because they're happy, and Nathan is just unhappy. Like he's just trying to be one up than he actually is in his plight. And that's just like, it's so an extra layer of funny to me that it's at West Ham.
I don't watch enough Ted Lasso or any Ted Lasso to get the references.
You really should.
You should.
Like, not just because everybody asks you to, like, hey, have you seen Ted Lasso? When you say
actually hilarious.
It is actually an awesome show.
It is hilarious, and the more they've gone on, the more they've started to fold in like actual jokes that you and I would get that someone like Brittany would not get, like that.
Okay.
Like they're folded, and then this past episode,
Nope. I haven't got there yet. Nope.
Yeah, we should avoid any past episode comments.
All right. Well, whatever. Well, it wasn't like I'm still like 3 behind.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He tripped balls. He tripped balls and he came up with Total Football.
Yes.
Which came up with by the Dutch national team in the 70s, which was made famous by Johan Cruyff, which was taught to Pep Guardiola.
After he had played in Johan Cruyff Stadium.
Yeah, where everybody just moves like an amoeba, and like, so he's like, yeah, let's do that. And it's hilarious that Ted Lasso is going to try to teach Total Football.
Yes,
and he has no idea what he's doing.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes, you should watch it because
you should watch it. That's what we decided, James. That's going to be. Hey, James, that's going to be your summer homework here.
Yeah, he trips balls and thinks that he came up with something great, and then his assistant is like, "No, that's Total Football."
If we're assigning homework, my list for you, Brad, is quite extensive. So be careful. Be careful.
My homework. My homework for this summer is already. My homework book is already full.
Oh, okay, got it. Understood. All right. Well. This is Red Card Radio's endorsement of Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, if you would like to endorse Red Card Radio, feature us in Series 4. We'll be there.
I'll tweet at Jason Sudeikis and see what we can pull off.
Let's do it.
Hey, fun fact before we move off. So Brittany has a condition where she is from birth never been able to smell.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's called anosmia. And she was born in Fairfax Hospital. Fairfax Hospital.
Yeah. Rep.
So was Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, wow.
And he has the same thing. He has never been from birth. He has anosmia. He has never from birth, just like Brittany, never been able to smell a single thing.
Well, interestingly enough, 2 other people who are on this podcast were also born at Fairfax Innova Hospital. So, we're just all kinds of connections to Ted Lasso.
Can y'all smell?
Yes.
Have y'all smelled bacon in the morning? Flowers on a May evening?
Yes.
Yes, I've done all these things.
So I want you guys to think about that every time you smell bacon. All the good smells in life. The ocean.
I will probably forget to remember that.
Oh, definitely.
Not to be insensitive to the chief marketing officer.
I just want you to remember the gift that you have that others don't.
That's true.
Well, I'm not saying feel bad. I'm just saying appreciate that little extra more.
We should all be more appreciative of the things that we have in our life.
I will tell you, it is extremely hard to describe what bacon smells like. Because at a certain point in our relationship, she was like, "Just describe things to me," and I'm like, "Well,
deliciousness.
Bacon smells like a warm Sunday morning." Like you're just describing like personal feelings at that point, like what it means to you. Because like what do you say? It just smells like the underbelly of a pig frying. Like
it smells like melting fat.
I don't know.
Wow, we are exceedingly
way off topic. Let's get back. So since you guys wanted to meme on,
think about bacon.
Okay, Brad. Before you try and take us somewhere, I have to take us, unfortunately, to the league table. and we
right.
have to look at it. So,
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see that league
okay.
table.
Yeah, let's look at it, Brad. Why is the 11th place Chelsea fan so excited to look at the league table?
Because why do I care? Because I'm not in the bottom 3.
You're ridiculous.
I'm not the one that's been leading for 34 weeks.
Okay, I would 100% still take Arsenal season over Chelsea season any day of the week and
it's
next
the same
week.
season, except you guys have Champions League football, but it's the same season.
No, it's absolutely not. Anyway, okay.
You guys have Champions League football.
Brad, this is the least intelligent take you have ever had.
Yeah, there's about $50 million. There's about 50 million reasons why his season's better.
Oh, I know. I said Champions League football next year, but besides that, what has Arsenal done that Chelsea haven't done?
That's
besides
a very tangible monetary difference.
Besides that, what has Arsenal done that Chelsea hasn't? Because I didn't see any Arsenal trophies lifted.
Okay, Manchester City's in first position. Arsenal are in second. Newcastle are in third. Manchester United are still in fourth. Liverpool are in fifth. Tottenham are sixth. Seventh is Brighton, but they have games in hand on the people above them. They could move up. Aston Villa are in ninth. Ninth is Brentford. 10th is Fulham. 11th place Chelsea, who is also as good as second place Arsenal, is 11th according to Brad. Only a mere 39 points are separating them. It's really, really inconsequential. It's very meaningless. And, even though Chelsea spent, 400 million pounds, 450 million pounds more than Arsenal did. 39 points is inconsequential. Basically the same season. 12th place is Crystal Palace. 13th place is Wolverhampton Wanderers. Bournemouth are 14th. I should also add that Arsenal have guaranteed that they will finish either first or second. Chelsea cannot say the same about 11th. They could finish lower than that. Bournemouth, which is basically the same thing as first or second. It's basically the same thing. Finishing 15th.
First. You're not getting first.
Finishing 15th would be the same as finishing first. It's the same thing. 14th is Bournemouth. 15th is West Ham United. Nottingham Forest is 16th. Everton, out of the relegation zone. They've had some spicy results this week that we will tell you about. They are in 17th in the relegation zone at the moment, in the drop zone. Leicester City, Leeds, and Southampton. Southampton need a miracle at this point. They have 3 games remaining, and they need basically 9 points, and to pray that Everton pick up no more points. So Southampton, while not mathematically relegated at this point, things are looking exceedingly bleak, especially since Everton's going to beat Manchester City this weekend coming up. So unfortunate for them, but that's what the league table looks like. Brad, do you have any more hot takes about the league table that you want to drop on us so people can judge?
No.
Okay,
but,
Sean.
Last week was the last time that you got to pimp Arsenal at the top there.
Yeah, Sean, give us your league table hot take.
I have one. Not only the tangible benefit monetarily, that is not technically a trophy, but is something that you can actually use instead of sticking in a case, of the about $50 million you get for being in the Champions League and going through the group stage. Last year, there was a $21 million difference payout by the EPL for between finishing second or 11th. And that is assuming that you stay 11th.
Hold on. What happens when Tottenham finishes 8th and we literally did have the same season, but for like $7 million pounds?
I'm glad you pointed that out, because there is a very tangible difference between
$8 billion pounds.
There's a $12 million difference between finishing 8th and 11th. That is if you stay 8th.
Well, okay.
Or 11th.
If you get 8th.
I will also say, Sean, there is some aspect in this with broadcasting. So which games are selected to be broadcast. The more you broadcast, the more money you make. There is like prize pool stuff for finishing in certain positions, but you also can augment that by if your team is selected to be broadcast more. It's an unimaginably bad take, Brad. It's an unimaginably bad take.
I'm just going off a historical point of reference.
All right.
That last year,
Brad just
it was a $21 million difference between second and 11th.
Brad just made the argument that what's his name?
No.
Red light. Stop talking because I'm talking. Brad just made the argument that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Dan Marino because Carson Wentz has won a Super Bowl. because he has something to show for it. That's literally the same argument you're making in this regard.
That's literally the same argument that y'all were making, that Olivier Giroud is better than Harry Kane.
No, we weren't arguing that. The question was which career would you have? That's a different conversation.
That's called recall, baby.
Yes.
Let's hold people accountable. Like, no, we can't bring this back. We can't bring it back this way.
Brad's argument is titles are the only thing that matter. And if he wants to play that game, I will put Arsenal's CV against Chelsea's CV any day of the week.
Let's do this, right? This is Chelsea's worst season in years, right? We've all agreed on that, right?
What Brad is arguing is that Jalen Hurts had the same exact season as Justin Fields.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing he's saying.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Because neither one of them won the title.
Yeah.
So they had the same exact season.
Yep.
Yeah. There's only one winner. There was 31 losers in the NFL.
Brad, you're smarter than that, Brad.
There's only one winner and 31 losers in the NFL.
This is the absolute laziest take you've ever made.
How?
This is the most copium take you've ever had to make yourself feel better that your team is literally trash can on fire this year. And you're coping by saying that.
The only way I'm gonna
not coping. Hold on. Top of the Premier League table at Christmas. Top of the table in Europa League. Crash out. 50 points from 20 games. 8-point lead at the top. We're still in the season with no trophies. Yes, Champions League football is important. Yes, that is an accomplishment. Yes, Arsenal did have a better season than Chelsea. But in Chelsea's worst season equals Arsenal's best season in years, besides Champions League.
It doesn't equal it.
But you just said equals the same thing besides. There's a modifier there, and on top of that, you can't honestly be making this argument and believing it in your brain.
Why not?
Because you're smarter than that.
How about not? Wait a second, but is this not on Brandon? How I've been this entire time? Trophies are what matters. If you don't have trophies, then you didn't have a good season.
The only thing I can respect about this argument is that he's not backing off of it, and I have been not backing off of arguments for centuries.
I would put it up to the people.
If you think season ends, if you think and all of us have no trophies, we all had the same season.
I'm just floating here at 6. Like when we make Europa, that's still like a 20 $20 million like bonus just for making the group stage, because you get X amount per game you play. So like by the time we play 6 games, it's about 15-20 million. Yeah, I'll take it. That plus an exit is a $45-50 million player.
I will be completely honest with you, Brad. I am shocked that you're trying to make this argument.
Stand on it, and you're standing on it.
I'm right here.
It's one of the worst things I've ever heard you say. And I've heard you say a lot of things, and it's actually I don't think I'm wrong here. It's like 12 IQ point take. It's really it's a 0 IQ take. It's really bad.
I don't think I'm wrong here. But we've also gone like 18 minutes and haven't talked any of the recent results.
We started talking some football. Yeah, so there were quite a lot of games that were played from last Wednesday until this Monday last. If you want to hear about those results, pause the video now, hit a Google search, get those results. I'm not going to read the laundry list because there's a lot, but pause the video, take a look at them, and come back. Give you a second.
They pause it. You don't have to.
All
give them
right, welcome back. Well, we do have to pause. It's for effect.
Oh, okay.
It's for effect. Yeah. It's for effect.
Oh, that's for somebody. Oh, you know what? The pause is for them to reach for the mouse to pause it
Precisely.
And then unpause it. Exactly. I got.
Precisely.
I got you.
They got to reach for the space bar. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna start with Bournemouth and Chelsea. Chelsea first win in 9 games, something like that, Brad.
Like 6.
A great season, though. Great season. So
their first win. They lost 6 straight under Frank. You said they drew with Homeboy in the interim game. They lost their last game under Graham. So it's at least 8 games if they hadn't won a game. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting right now.
Great season, though.
Yeah,
We're counting the losses.
basically
Nine.
Nine
Yep.
straight
Nine
games.
straight without a win. Yeah,
Counting the losses.
that's including Champions League quarterfinals. Oh, when we were furthest in Europe, I got all the Champions League money except for 2 games.
Hey, you know what? You know what, James? Tottenham did just as good in Europe as Chelsea did.
True.
And so did you.
Did.
True.
We didn't win it. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
made it just as far.
There we go.
Exactly.
Line it up, man.
So you can't say last in Europe because we all were last in Europe, right?
True. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
First or last.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
But tell me about this. Tell me about this result, Brad. You've obviously got to be buzzing. Got a 3 goals. Beat Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was dope to watch. We actually started clicking in the second half. I still think the Ziyech substitution was wrong.
You got lit up on Twitter for that.
Let's go.
You got lit up on Twitter for that. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did, and I responded back to new spam accounts. Hakeem Ziyech has no business being anywhere near the Chelsea roster. Like, homie wants to leave. Homie got an assist and just stood there like this. No, we didn't pause the screen. I just paused. Like, oh, yay. He got, yes, great free kick. Great assist. Badiashile gets his first goal, so that's hype. And João Felix got his first goal, I think, for Chelsea.
He did. I think that's
First goal in the Prem. His first goal in the Prem, I believe. He maybe got one in the Champions League. Anyways, Conor Gallagher's goal was good. Badiashile had a great goal. Their Bournemouth's goal was a fantastic shot. But good game. We got the win. We secured Premier League football for next year. And so maybe we can announce a manager for next year too. That'd be awesome.
So you still high on Pochettino?
I told you when that news was circulating, that was not the worst hire in the world, man.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
Completely overachieved with the young squad with the Southampton. Overachieved with Tottenham.
And
like goes to PSG and has to deal with like the worst personalities in the world and won a couple of cups, didn't win the Champions League, they fired him. Like, the dude's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with him as a manager.
And we have the young players that he likes to work with. Like, so yes.
Okay.
I'm getting excited for Poch. As soon as it's over the line.
I don't think you should expect the moon. Like your homeboy, your old owner used to do, but like, give him time. Like, he's fine. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think
well, here's the question. If you're saying don't expect the moon, like what do you mean? What are the expectations in? Like, what do you want to accomplish with the new manager?
For next year, get back in the Champions League.
I mean, like long term.
Yeah, I want to be competing for the league.
I just meant next year. Don't expect the moon next year.
Got it. Okay.
All
right. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Well,
I don't
expect a domestic treble next year because you got Pochettino. No. It's not happening.
No.
But like,
he's not Jose.
But like, he'll be back. If I know Pochettino like I do, he'll be back in the top 4 to 6 next year minimum. Like, Europe minimum next year.
Yep.
And then and then there's a building step from there. Then we just move towards the top. Like, that's Pochettino's thing. Is like, I would expect a Pochettino-led this Chelsea roster with how much talent they just put into it. This Chelsea roster with Pochettino at the helm, with a full summer to work on them, is 4th or 3rd.
Wow. Next year.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Next year.
Wow.
I don't disagree. I think 4th should be what the goal is.
Like $1 billion on talent. Like, there's talent on the roster.
And we have and don't forget, we still have Nkuku coming in too.
Yeah, but this doesn't address your core issues of aging midfield,
and striker,
no goalkeeper, no defined number 9. There are
a 9, a DM, and a goalie.
There are definite issues with this Chelsea team.
And we can still work with Mendy, right? Like, I need a DM and a goal, a DM and a striker.
Yeah, but they can net spend 0 They can just offload like 5 players, get a solid DM.
Yeah, but this is no, they're not going to be able to just offload 5 players, and teams know they need to sell like 10 or 11 players, so they're not going to be chomping at the bit to get Chelsea players. Chelsea's going to say we want 40 million for someone, and someone's going to say we'll give you 20 million for them. They're going to slow roll Chelsea all summer. Chelsea's going to have to unload a lot of players, and everyone knows that. Everyone knows the deficiencies that Chelsea currently have in center forward, in midfield, at goalkeeper. So the reports have been coming out recently that Pochettino wants to give Lukaku another shot. So, maybe third time's a charm.
You already have one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, okay, cool. So then we can get a decent DM.
I'm just saying,
decent goalie and sell some players. I think the idea is
it's not going to be easy. Is the point that I'm trying to make? Is it's not going to be easy for Chelsea to just flip a few players and buy a new player. It's not going to be easy.
I don't disagree with you, but agents play the game.
Sure,
and so we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll see what happens as we come through into the summer. But yeah, no, I'm excited. We got the win. Frank got his victory. I just need him now to win at Stamford Bridge so the crowd can, cheer and all that stuff. Because last time he won a game, it was COVID at the Bridge. So
if he wants to beat Manchester City, that would be ideal.
Bro, let's do it.
Let's go for it. Why not? Now that Chelsea's staying up, let's get them all the points.
Throw all the points at me. Let's go. Let's see if we can't sneak Conference League.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change your season materially.
Oh, no.
Nah, because it would be the same thing as finishing second.
Exactly.
Spurs Palace. Quick note on Spurs Palace. The game ends 1-0.
Mathematically, 5th is not possible.
He's in Conference League. He wants to sneak 7th.
I'm sorry. Mathematically, 7th is not possible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
You need 13 points with 4 games remaining.
Oh, feels bad. Yeah. Okay. So quick note on the Spurs Palace game. We did predictions on that game. The game ended 1-0. Sean, you picked that it would be 2-2, so it ended a draw. Brad, you thought Palace would win 2-1 with an 87th minute Zaha winner. That was a specific pick that you made, so I made sure to note it. I was the only one who correctly believed that Spurs would win the game. I thought Spurs would win 3-1. The game ended 1-0, so I get like half marks there because I at least thought that Spurs would win the game. Not a super remarkable game, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. Another quick note, Manchester United have lost 2 consecutive games 1-0. First one was against Brighton at home. At Brighton. It was at Brighton. So Brighton get a little bit of revenge against United. McAllister scores a penalty in like the 97th minute or something like that to win the game. That's a bit of redemption for him it wasn't McAllister. Who was it? It was the other one. Anyway, they scored a 97th minute penalty. Maybe it was McAllister. I can't remember. Anyway, that's a bit of revenge for the semifinal. And then West Ham beat Manchester United also at West Ham. So that's a huge result for West Ham. That's 3 points that they probably hoped to take, but probably didn't expect to take. My context, they probably hope to get 1 point out of that. My context in that result is I'm going to recontextualize the Arsenal draw against West Ham and say that it's a good result. It's a decent result now because West Ham at home just beat Manchester United, and apparently Manchester United have also had a better season than Arsenal because they won a Carabao Cup.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
It means Tottenham's had 15 years of bad seasons.
Yeah, we have. That West Ham victory just compact my fun little 8-team parlay at the back end. It just compacted it to 5.
Yeah.
It's only 5 now. That probably saves West Ham. I think 37 probably gets them out because the bottom. I'm not going to read the teams. You can look at the table, but it goes 30, 33, 32, 30, 30, 24. Southampton's probably out. So it's really just the 4, the 33, 32, 30, 30 that are battling. The 37's probably safe unless there's some miracles.
Well, think about it. So West Ham would have to essentially lose all their games, and then either one of Leicester
And they
or
have 3 left.
Leeds would have to pick up
Ev-
all of
Everybody
their points.
among those have 3 games left.
Yeah, so it seems exceedingly long. Southampton can't catch West Ham, so really it's only Leicester or Leeds, and also Forest and Everton who would all have to catch West Ham. 4 teams, it seems, or like 3 of 4 teams, it seems unlikely.
Unlikely.
So that's good.
So West Ham are essentially saved.
Yeah. I mean, they've had a really good season. They basically finished second, so that's good for West Ham.
They basically finished second. Yeah,
basically finished second. Minus Champions League.
Of course, minus Europe. But they might have Europa League still.
Yeah, true. I mean, if they
have Europe.
If they win the Conference League, they are in the Europa League. They basically finished second. So congratulations, West Ham, finishing second. That's impressive.
They would have had a better season than Arsenal because they would have won a trophy.
Can you imagine the memes and how much you guys are going to laugh when we finish 6th and I celebrate getting Europa and not Conference League, and then West Ham win the Conference League to take my Europa spot, and we are in the Conference League?
We'd have to check the math on that. I'm not sure. I'm not
I'm
sure
here for this.
I'm not sure if because you win and then win admission to the next tournament up, if that automatically kicks. Like I'm not sure if there's trickle down effects if West Ham were to win. And I think
it is.
I think there might be trickle down effects if someone wins a cup.
Oh, the FA Cup would push you down.
I think that's the trickle down effect, not necessarily the winning.
Yeah, the
you know
Europe Cup may not supersede the domestic position.
That's my. I wonder.
I see.
If you win automatic admission through winning the lower cup, I think that just adds an additional entrant for your league.
I see.
I could be. That's how it works in the Champions League, at least.
Either way.
I'm not sure.
All right, well then I don't have to worry about that misery because that would be brutal if we finished 6th and got pushed to the conference.
You like that one time you finished 4th, right? And got
we finished 4th and then and we got pushed.
That was before they changed the number of entrants per nation.
Hey, who pushed you guys out of Champions League?
I would imagine your silly little shirt twirl would mean that it was Chelsea.
But domestically, you guys had the same season that year, so it didn't matter because
we won a trophy. We won Champions League. It doesn't matter.
But Brad's missing the.
That would be a thing.
Brad's missing
a better season.
Domestically.
Yes, domestically, he's having a hard time understanding words this evening because there was an added modifier there, domestically. But
I don't make the season between the two.
Okay, quickly looking at the game of the weekend was probably Newcastle Arsenal. I think we kind of hyped that up as that was the biggest clash of the weekend. It was quite a good game. Newcastle could have gone in front they had a penalty awarded by the on-field official in the 8th minute. VAR overturned it. I know there was a little bit of controversy between Joel and I about whether or not we thought it was a penalty. I think, Joel, your standing point was that if it required the referee to look at it as many times as it did, that wasn't clear and obvious error, so you shouldn't be able to overturn the on-field decision. I'm not even sure it hit Kiviar's arm. I'm not convinced that it even touched his arm. I believe it touched his leg and avoided his arm entirely. But obviously, I can't prove that with the video evidence that I saw. But anyway, the penalty was disallowed, and then Arsenal went down and scored about 4 minutes later. Great strike from Martin Odegaard. That's his 15th goal of the season. So that's a very, very impressive tally from a midfielder. You look like you're going to say something, Brad. Or are you reading something?
That was a beautiful goal. No, I was saying that's a beautiful goal. That was a great goal. And Newcastle were just poor finishing. This game could have easily been like the Forest Southampton game, 4-3, and nobody bats an eye.
I think Newcastle. Yeah, so Isaac had a free header that went off the bar. Fabian Schär had a save by Ramsdale, which was the best save of the day. On the header, the reflection, just getting his arm down and digging it out. That was quite an impressive save, I would have to say. But likewise, you said Arsenal had 2 or 3 other opportunities one-on-one with Nick Pope essentially, and just shot it right at Nick Pope. So
Pope had another good save though when he had to get down and get one too.
Maybe, I don't remember. I know that
the one-on-one.
I think that Ramsdale had the better number of saves in that one.
It was either your other scorer on this game or last week that you secured 5 players with 10 goals or more for the season.
Yeah. I think that actually was 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it was last week, but I did take note of that. I do remember poking fun of you last year and the year before of you just having dreadful other performers. Just like you have Saka that would be putting in the goals, but then just where's the other people? You got to keep scrolling to find the next Arsenal player.
You're talking about on the Golden Boot list.
Yes, yeah. You look at the goal scorers list, and you're just scrolling to find the next one.
How many?
But this year, it doesn't take long to get to 5.
How many goals does Harry Kane have at this point?
25.
25.
I can look it up.
Okay, I thought it was like 24, 25. Spurs total have scored 64. So Harry Kane has roughly like a third of their goals for Tottenham.
It's not good.
Arsenal have scored 83 goals this year, spread around. I think Martinelli and Odegaard are both at 15, and that's our highest. So it's sprinkled around the squad, which is I think the way. I think that's what you want long term. Makes you less one dimensional. Now, granted, you look at.
I think you prefer both having like a 20 goal scorer striker,
certainly,
plus 3 plus a couple of other players.
Yeah.
Newcastle on the way too. They had 3 with 10, and it might be if Jolinton can get a couple more, it'd be 4 with 10 goals.
Yeah,
he's on like 7 or 8 right now.
Go for it, Sean.
I was just gonna say I have a screen here with, so it was 4, not 5.
Oh.
I have a screen here with all of them, where I can fit them all on the screen on the EPL goal list. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, Martinelli and Odegaard on 15, Saka on 13, and Jesus at 10.
Yeah.
So it was 4, not 5.
I think
sorry, but that's still just impressive.
For some reason, I think there's a 5th, but I have to double check.
But yeah. Your next one down the list is Trossard with 8.
Oh,
so he has 3 goals. He has 3 games to do it.
And we can't really even claim Trossard because he scored many of those for Brighton. He's got way more assists for us than he does for goals.
I know he had a hat trick for Brighton, so that's at least 3 of them.
He had more than that. My quick closing thoughts about Newcastle Arsenal. I think Newcastle fans will be frustrated about the time wasting stuff from Arsenal, the gamesmanship from Arsenal, and I think Arsenal fans will be frustrated by the physical play from Newcastle. I think that the ref was a little bit too lenient in that match. I think he could have assigned some yellow cards to make the game a little bit less physical and to speed the pace of play up. But
that's the way Newcastle played all year. I remember taking note back in it had to be September, October when Newcastle played City and beat City, and Shaw was just absolutely just giving it to Holland.
I mean,
in the back, just dirty, just shoving and just making his life hell. Like
the bigger one for me is Bruno Guimaraes. He is late in a lot of tackles, and he is unnecessarily I don't want to say injurious, but he is very, very physical.
That is his style. It's just
true.
Brute.
Yes, of course.
It's just brute.
Yeah,
and that's that. They have clearly bought on style.
You need people like that in your team, and I'm not disparaging.
And you do need.
You need hard men. I'm not disparaging it, but I was a little frustrated watching it. I thought that there should have been some protection. There should have been more yellow cards, and Arsenal should have gotten more yellow cards for time wasting. I fully admit that. I want to turn our attention to the 3 games that were played on Monday. It was relegation implications across the board. So we had Fulham Leicester. That game ended 5-3 for Fulham. You had Brighton Everton. That game ends 5-1 for Everton. And then Forest Southampton is a 7-goal thriller. Ends 4-3 for Southampton. Or excuse me, 4-3 for Forest. Forest won the game. I think the biggest, I think, shock result, I would say, is Everton putting 5 past Brighton. That's ridiculous.
And the first goal was less than a minute.
30, I think 34 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And with all these midweek games, Brighton still hasn't made up a game. They still have 2 games in hand. They're last year's Burnley. Like, what are we doing? Make up your games already.
They're trying. I think they got one. Well, one of the problems is I think one of the games is against City, and City is still playing in midweek competitions. And I don't know who the other one is, but like there's scheduling mishaps. But yes, it is.
It must be City, West Ham. That must be 2 of them.
It might be West Ham.
Because that has to be it, right?
Let me
because
look
those are the only 2 in Europe. Otherwise, there's no reason to get that. That has to be it.
They have a midweek game against Newcastle coming up this Thursday, but that could always be a weekend game. And then they have a midweek game against City Wednesday the 24th. So I think it's Newcastle and Brighton. Newcastle, of course, had the Carabao Cup run, and then Brighton had FA Cup runs. So it might have just been scheduling. But I was shocked when I saw that result. I was shocked. I don't know what I was doing, but the Fulham Leicester game happened very early on Monday for us, at least. It was like a 12:30 start or something, like maybe 11 o'clock start for us in the morning. So like I pulled up the Premier League app because I wanted to look at the table, and I was like, wait, I had forgotten there were games on Monday, and Fulham Leicester was already over. It was 5-3, and I was like, what? How did I miss this? What is going on here? And then fast forward like 30 minutes later, and then Everton is just beating the snot out of Brighton. It was a bloodbath on Monday. Like, it's just insane. Like the games that we got. 15. There were 21 goals scored on Monday. That's absurd.
It was a record for maximum of 3 goals in a day.
It's
in the Premier League.
Ridiculous. The Forest Southampton result is big because it basically sealed Southampton's. Like that was a true relegation 6-pointer, because had it been reversed, Southampton would have been on 27 points and Nottingham Forest would have been on 30 points. And that would have made Southampton's life significantly better. Would have made it conceivable, at least, that they could fight for safety. But I think that result, being against the opposition that's close to you, essentially kills them. They've got Fulham next, Brighton, and then Liverpool. Like, come on, they're not picking up any points out of those 3 matches, right?
Like, they might against Fulham. Who knows? They might against Fulham. Fulham sometimes is hit or miss without Mitrovicing.
Sure. I can give you that. And Fulham don't have a whole lot to play for, so maybe they're kind of checked out emotionally. Now, Brighton Southampton's a derby match. That's a South Coast derby. Like, I think that there's a slight amount of animosity there. I don't know exactly how much, but there's some beef there, I think. And then Southampton Liverpool. Liverpool's going to need a result in that match, hands down. Liverpool's fighting for top 4 at this point. They feel like there's a chance that they could do it. So they're going to need maximum points out of that match. So it seems inconceivable that they'll get any points out of that, which would then mean they're relegated. So even if they pick up 6 points, they're relegated. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They need 9 points essentially. They need to win their last 3 games to avoid relegation. I don't see a world where that happens.
Nope. I am gonna say I think the 3 bottom teams are the 3 bottom teams. I mean, maybe Everton over Leeds.
We could still hope for Everton.
As long as they beat City, they can go down. I don't care. I mean,
we got your 3 points dropped. We got you.
Forest have a hard run in as well. They've got Chelsea, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace as their last 3 games. So, like, I don't think they can count any of those points yet. So I think Forest are still vulnerable. I think Everton are obviously vulnerable. But the thing about Leicester and Leeds is Leeds they sacked their manager. They have Big Sam. Like, it just seems like that was such a desperation move. It was such a Hail Mary.
Totally. Totally.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out over the next 3 weeks. You guys have any parting shots for this episode? Any thoughts?
Fun week of football.
Yeah, I think they were
Chelsea
good.
safe.
They were good results.
Very interesting results.
I just think if Brad's right and the last 3 stayed the last 3, that Everton had the same exact year as Arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to leave it. Check back tomorrow.
Great place to leave it.
Check back tomorrow. We'll have the news. Check back Friday. We'll have a preview of match week 35, I guess, that we're at right now. Yeah, something like that.
For some teams.
35, 36, whatever, something like that.
Somewhere in there. Who knows where we're at? We're at the end of the season. But if you could hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, all those things that we forgot to ask you to do at the beginning of the episode, do them now. And leave a comment below if you agree with Brad or if you agree with me about the relative seasons of Arsenal and Chelsea. And I would be very interested to read those. But until then, check back tomorrow. We'll have the news. And have a good one, guys.